Hey guys, welcome to the Bullwhip tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to build from scratch this Bullwhip right here. So I hope you learned something. Here we go. Alright, so at this point we are all ready for the second, or the first belly, which is going to be a straight run. By straight run I mean there's no weave involved, it's just tying this paracord around the core. So we have 3 strands at 6 feet each, so the loops right here. And I gutted them already. And now what we're going to do, I'm sure you guys seen it before, I'm going to offset these by, let's do 4 inches approximately. Something like that. Like that, offset. Now what we're going to do, pinch that right there. Where those are offset. Take this, and we're just gonna kind of eyeball our next strand right here. Let's see, trying to find the center. There we go. All of them. You can see this side's offset because we offset that side, so that's good. Now we're going to meet that one, the shortest one on the other side, with about 4 inches away, and that should be good. So you take that loop, hang on to that, let's go on our whip. All I do is do this, and that look pretty right away. Keep that loop right there. Let's see if we can get that. There we go. Alright, get your hockey tape, cut a piece off. And we're just going to tape around there right now, so we can get back to the vise and do what we need to do. It may not look pretty right now, but we'll make it look better, don't worry. That's just going to hold us in place. Those cords all offset like that. I know this is kind of a weird color. It's an old paracord I had. It said it was 550 West Coast paracord. Figured I'd use it up. Anyways, let's head back to the vise. Alright, we're back to the vise. We have our whip core and our first belly ready to bind. In case you guys didn't know that. Jesus. Okay. Artificial sinew. We're going to start at the top, right above our loop right there. You can see that. Just trying to make a nice little tutorial for you guys. Crossed, so it's secured. So what we're going to do, keep tightening this really tight. We don't want this loose. We got our tape wrapped up right there. And we're going to go back up, just to be on the safe side. Single pass. Making it nice and secure. Back down. Single pass. Okay, now we can take this piece and put it in our vise. Oh, the vise is one of these Harbor Freights. 20 bucks, I think. 25 maybe, I don't know. Fairly cheap. It's kind of nice that it angles off like that. It's like one of the whip maker's vices. So take this, put that tip in there like that. Tighten everything up. Wait, this is mistakes. Let's do this. There we go. Alright. That can be snug. Let our sinew go for a sec. Sinew. Okay. Alright, what we're going to do now is try to keep all of our strands in line. I know this is not going to be easy for you guys that are just starting out, but it's not too bad once you get the hang of it. So we're going to go around, we're going to do single pass all the way around, and as you go, just keep an eye on that paracord. I know my big head's going to be in the way in a couple of these shots, but what I keep doing is I keep pulling down like this as you make your pass. Just keep pulling down the paracord. If it bubbles up a little bit, it's okay, but if it bubbles up too much, you might want to go back and repass that. But this is basically the method all the way down the handle until we get to the BBs. Just keep pulling that slack out. We're trying to encourage this paracord, this 550 paracord to lay flat and evenly all the way around it. 6 pieces of this 550 paracord actually made it work. Go around a 1/4 inch steel rod with tape on it, so, or a 1/4 inch fiberglass rod for me. But I would do the same for if you're doing steel. But if you're wanting to experiment like me and use a reflector from outside, you can see I'm doing about a 1/4 inch spacing on all these. So do that all the way down the handle until we get to the BBs. As I mentioned, I was pulling tight. Alright, so we made it to the end of our handle. BBs are right here. I measured for 6 inches on one of these strands. Put a mark with a pen or marker. And we're going to continue on doing the same thing, just trying to keep that paracord wrapped around it evenly. So let's continue doing that. Now I'm just kind of pulling just snug enough, not too snug. But still trying to keep those strands pulled straight. Now if you get some gaps, it's not too bad. Keep on going. Now I'm starting to loosen up a little bit here. Not pulling as hard as I did when I was on the handle. Keep those strands, tight. We're almost there. Now we can start loosening it up a little bit where it's not so tight. right on going. Yeah. Alright, that's the 6-inch mark. I don't really see a need in going past that. We're going to go back up with one pass. Once we get to the handle, make sure you start pulling tight. But other than that, just a nice light wrap down below here. I'm going to hang on to my damn sinew. I haven't made a tutorial in a long time, guys. Hopefully everyone appreciates this. My Patreon is in the description. No, I should make one though. That'd be a little more beneficial, you know. Should get paid for hard work making videos. And it's still about 1/4 inch spacing for the sinew. You can see I'm not really pulling tight yet until we get to that. You can see where the babies are at. Let's see. You can start pulling tight now. We're about 1.5 inches away. Quarter inch spacing for the sinew. And we get to the handle here. Now we can crank. See that? That's what we want. Alright, so we're going to do that all the way up the handle now, as tight as we can pull. And I'm kind of offsetting it. As you can see, we're getting kind of like a diamond pattern. See there? There you go. Alright, continue on. Great job. Your whip looks great. I can see it right now. Well, I can't really tell, but... Alright, we're getting back up to the tape. You guys can see where we started. The tippy top. We're going to snip that and pull that one good. Alright. Now we could reinforce it, or we could do the option's up to you. I'm merely just the guide. Obviously we had some issues here, but that won't really, that's not going to affect us, I don't think. After we roll it out, it'll be nice and round, so. As you can see, we have all of our strands offset, so it's a nice light belly. And we're just going to plait right over the top of those with our second belly. Probably the fastest one you can ever make right here. But is it really sturdy? Not really. It's basically just to put that mass on there to give us a little bit more girth without having to do all the binding and all the plaiting. So that should be all set. We could do, I think we're going to do that right now actually. Grab your hockey tape. We're going to do an increasing taper off the handle. Alright? So you start at the top. And we're going to do one wrap, but we're not going to go all the way. Sorry, a bunch of cat hair in there. Pets, you know. So you can see I'm doing it again. About half the width. Falling in between the grooves. And we're going to go for about 6 inches ish, I'm guessing. Alright, cut that. So that one's all set. This way we don't have to use my specialty stuff. I can show you with what little materials we can use here and still have the same effect, as you can see. So we'll go back to the top again. Put your tape on, and we're going to do the same thing. about half the width, overlapped, and just continue down. Why wouldn't you do this the whole way? It's not as sturdy as having that paracord in there. And you're going to be making a mess at the other end of your whip, obviously. I know I am. And we're just going to continue on. Past that, try not to get too many clumps in there. It's working great, guys. There we go, and we would hit the 6-inch mark. I want to go past that one. Try to keep this shit flat. I don't know why it likes to twist and... There we go. That's better. And I think we're going to bump the, where the bulge is here. We're going to hit the very top of that. And keep going. We're almost there. I think that's good. Right there. We'll stop. We'll cut our hockey tape for about 12 inches then. What is it, 12.5 inch rod, fiberglass. Well, nothing to it. So that just increased our taper. We're going to go back out to the living room or the kitchen and give this a light roll, okay? Alright, so we're back in the kitchen. Sorry it's so dark. I'm going to turn my ISO down. It's just too damn bright, wasn't it? No. Okay. So we're going to roll this out. Basically just the spot we just bound, so. Just make it nice and cylindrical. A little pressure, not too much. Down here, we gotta be careful. It's a slight taper, you guys can see that. That's a little wider, it stops halfway. That's what we wanted. And all of our strands are offset, as you can see, to increase the taper for this belly coming up, which should be nice. And having them all straight in line should have a little bit of little bit of backbone, not a bunch. But the next belly we're gonna bind pretty hard in the transition area. I'd like to bring that out to about at least 4 inches off this 12-inch handle. So back to the vise for measurements for the next belly. Okay, so we have our strands laid on the floor. It's a 12 flat for this this belly, and I offset the 4 of the shortest strands at 3 inches approximately. That way they drop off a little offset. And for our 2 15-footers, I offset the main one up there. This is about 3 inches for the one, and then for the big one, or for the other one, this 15 foot is actually about, I don't know, 15 inches. So that way they drop, they have a nice taper, because those are just going to hang at the end. So let's
This video is sponsored by Mountain Dew.
No, it's not. Come on. Alright, so we got our strands over here. Pick them up. All the centers. Keep the loops. It's not too bad when it's a 12 ply. And then, like I said, this is a video that I don't know. Hopefully this is going to work, and hopefully don't have to add an extra strand to make it 10. I mean, 14. But here we go. We got all our loops. All we're going to do, make it all even here. Let's see. We can release those other ones. Turn it off. There we go. Much better. I think on one of those, on the first belly I had music that was a little too loud, but so here's what we're going to do. So we have our 6 lined up like that. It doesn't matter the order, don't worry about that. So we have our 6 strands on here, looking towards a 12 plat belly. Doesn't matter which side you grab. I'm left-handed. I'm going to grab from the right side, the 3 in the bottom, and then what we're going to do, run those 3 over, on the back in between the middle, go right over the top of the 3 on this side, keeping that pinched, lift up on the bottom 3 on the left side, and run those underneath, crisscrossing them. Try to get them in line if you can. Alright, something like that. Try to keep our centers. Pull those through. And you should have something that looks like that. So 6 on this side, 6 on that side. And whip niggers know the routine. The ones that know the routine. Let's see. Making sure everything's flat. We're pointing towards that corner. Find your top one. Take your 1 strand. Split under 3, over 3. And now we are set up. So you grab your strand from this side, because it's pointing towards this side, the left. Go to the right, behind the back, under 3, over 3. I'll just show you a little bit here. I don't want it to go too crazy. And you just point into that corner, under 3, over 3. Point at this corner, top one, on the back, under 3, over 3. And it looks like we got a nice setup here. So we're going to run with this, and you will get tangled up if you keep going like that. So I'm going to go to the end of the handle, and then I'll meet you there. Just continue doing that pattern all the way. Once again, I know it's hard to see, but I like black. What can I say? Anyways, I kind of set that up when I was actually holding this, and then doing it lightly, and then pulled all the strands tight. So as you go, under 3, over 3, as of right now, keep going back up and just sliding these strands down. And if you run into issues where you think you might have screwed up underneath, get everything out of the way for a second, and all you have to do is do this. Take a look. That looks about the same as the front. Okay, good. Just kind of double checking everything, that's all. So continue on down the handle, snugging everything up as we go. So everything's super tight. We don't want it loose. And what are we going to do for that counterweight? That is the question. But always being creative like me. That's not too shabby, I hope. We'll figure something out here, like I said before. Continue on down the handle. Don't give up. Press on, and you will succeed. Alright, so we made it to the end of the handle. Still in 12 plat. We have a couple strands coming up that are going to drop. I'll show you when we get there. Now that we're into the actual BB portion, still keep that nice tight tension, and you should have a straight line all the way down in this herringbone plat. Somewhat straight. I mean, it's going to matter if you're new. Not so much on the belly, the bellies, but the overlay. It's going to matter if it's straight or not. So let's continue until we have to drop our first strand. Okay, which is right there. Okay, so we've let's turn this for you guys. Reached our drop strand, the first one of this belly. Right here, everything is, you notice everything is starting to get kind of bunched up, and it's you have to start angling the strands more to go down the whip. So our first drop is going to be right here. There we go. And I don't know, it's about 6 inches long. Let's see where our first drop is in this 12 plat. If you measure down the whip from the top, it's 14 inches in. Ish. It could be different for everybody. If not, you keep going until you start seeing a kind of a clumping. The strands don't lay as flat. They start to kind of bunch up a little bit. So that one, pull tight and pull everything else around it tight, which you should have been doing the whole time, but now you know. So that one we forget about. Take the one underneath it, go around the back, under 3/3 on this side, because we still have 6 over here. Now we only have 5 on this side. Pointing towards the top. Take that one, go around the back, under 3/2 now. On that side. Could be a different drop for you guys, could be on this side, and that side would be under 3/2. Under 3/3 on this side still. And then under 3/2 over here. And just continue doing that until I'd say about a couple inches. Alright, we are currently, let's see this guys, 15.5. That one was, the first one was 13 actually, so 15.5 down. Here's our next drop strand. Now we need to even it out. And at this point I've started to not pull as tight the strands, just snug as a quick tug. So let's point to this corner. We're not taking this one, we're leaving that one behind. We're taking the one right underneath it. And under 3/2. And now we're pointing to that corner. Take this one, under 3/2. And see how everything's kind of balanced out. That pulling is tight now. Under 3 over 2. We're in 10 flat. Just keep on going. Try to keep your line straight as you go. Double check behind. Make sure you're not overlapping or grabbing the wrong strands. Everything should be nice and even on the back. Flip it over. Everything looks good. I know it's black, it's hard to see, but continue until we get to the end of the artificial sinew right here. Alright, so we just hit the end of the sinew. Does it feel like there's any beads in there? I don't think so. I think we're okay. So these other strands that are from the first belly, as we go, we just kind of want to organize them down. Doesn't matter if they kind of overlap at this point because it's only one strand in the middle. So we're going to continue with that, I guess, medium tension for about 2 inches. And looks like we got another drop strand coming up. Under 3 over 2. Still 10 flat. It's like 11 o'clock at night, guys. It's fucking late. This channel's not made for children. Disclaimer. No. They're gonna hear swears eventually. Children. Potty mouths. So you're going to notice now, what you're going to notice is that we're getting into it's feeling a lot softer. Which we're almost there. Let's see, it's coming up under 3 over 3 still. Nothing's changed. Continue on. Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe it's some. Yep. Now we're going to drop this side. So we are, let's see how far we're in, guys. For our marker. Approximately about 20 inches in. We're going to drop our next strand. That one's bye-bye. Grab from underneath this one. That one stays behind. And the one right underneath. Under 3 over 2 on that side. And this top one. Under 2 over 2 now. On the right side. That could vary for you guys, like I said. Just a quick tug on these. Under 3 over 2. Under 2 over 2. Till we get to our next drop strand. We've hit our next drop strand, ladies and gentlemen, of the whip world. And let's get this snug-ish. Okay, let's measure down from the last drop strand, approximately. About 2 inches. About 22 inches in, the overall length of the handle and down the whip we are. So, our next strand's on this side. We leave that one behind. Hold on, let me get situated here for you guys. I'm building this whip on an angle. Okay, there it is. Don't grab that one, grab the one underneath. Now when we forget about under 2, over 2 on this side. And now over 2, under 2, or under 2, over 2 on this side. And these strands that are down below, just kind of keep straightening them out as you go. Now our tension is medium light on each pull, under 2, over 2. Under 2, over 2. Under 2, over 2. And just continue on. Medium light tension.
Oh, this camera's getting hot. Getting red hot. You guys are doing great plotting my way.
Alright, we have hit our next drop strand. And it is at exactly 10 inches past the last one, which was 22, so 32 inches in overall. It's right here. We were currently in an 8 plat. Now we're going to go to like a 7. All right. Anyways, it's aiming towards that corner. We're going to grab this one right here underneath it. Forget this one's there, the short one. And it's still medium light pulling. More lighter now. Aiming towards this corner. This one comes around. Under 2, over 1. Our core is actually starting to thin out. I shouldn't have made that one black, because you can make a mistake and actually start weaving that one instead, which is not what you want to do. But pointing towards that corner, we're looking at this one right here. This side, under 2, over 2, still, until we get to our next drop strand. Under 2, over 1 on this side. Be sure you're double checking underneath if you have to, if you're just starting out. Point towards that corner. I said that, forget that one. Around the back, under 2, over 2. Grab this one. Under 2, over 1. Just continue on until our next drop strand, which is not very far away. 34 inches in, 2 inches away from the last drop. Here's our next drop strand. One underneath. Under 2, over 1. Now, kind of want to organize it so it's everything's nice. It's just a little snug, not too snug. We don't want weak spots. Needs the last good tug for good measure. Now we're pointing to that corner. Right here. Under 2, over 1 on this side now. Now we are in a 6 plat. And light, medium, I guess, I don't know. Tension on these strands. Just enough to get them set. Not like tugging the shit out of them, because that's just going to be a very messy whip, I think. Now, let's continue on until our next drop, and I think that'll be it. Which is a little bit, so continue plaiting. Under 2, over 1 on each side. We made another 10 inches in the 6 plat, under 2, over 1 on each side. And now, that would be what? 40, we're at 44 inches overall. down the whip, and here's our drop strand ready to drop. Pointing at this corner, we take that one underneath, go around the back, under 2, over 1 still. We only have 2 cores left, 2 core strands, so. And then point to that corner, top one still, under 1, over 1 on this side now. Make sure everything is snug now, because this could create a kink or a buckle in the whip, which we don't want that. Test it, looks good. This one right here, pointing to that corner, under 2, over 1. Under 1, over 1. Just continue on till we drop the next one. Okay, we are 46 inches in, 2 inches down from the last drop, and it's ready to drop. You grab that one underneath. This is pointing to that corner. Right underneath it. Make sure we're snug. Under 1, over 1. And now it's probably the easiest plot you guys will ever see. Under 1, over 1 on that side. Just forget about those strands that we left behind. Continue plaiting, under 1, over 1 on each side. This is a 4 plait. Alright, we are 53 inches in to the whip, plait. And we've run out of strands on each side here, as you can see. One last good tug on all 4 of these. That should be good. Let's see. Hang on. Grab your hockey tape. I want you to cut a piece off. Do this first. Take the tape. Flop one side. So it's like a tab. So it can't stick to itself. Take that off. We're going to cut that piece off there. We're going to take this tape right at that mark. This is just a temporary hold. Make it tight. And that tab will give us something to grab to when we have to take it off. So, and then our strands, let them run straight. Let's take a look. We got some trimming to do. I'll take that one that's shortest. We can find some freaking scissors. Let's see. Well, I don't have any scissors, so that's just great. Typically you use scissors. Take that strand, I cut that one back to about 1 inch away. And take a look at the rest of it. We do have an offset down here. So we cut this one back right here, third one down. Kind of see what I'm doing, getting a nice taper. And these ones at the bottom, the 2 at the bottom are almost straight, including the core strand, so pick the one that is the shortest, I guess you could say, and trim that. And something like that. Alright, so we have our drop strands. What we're going to do now is go back through and trim them all, which I better find some scissors, because here's what we got to do. Go through each one, Give them a little tug. Once up to the top, you can pull a little harder right here. So tug on all those. We just tugged on all the strands. Now we're going to go back through and just trim them to where they're about a 1/16 of an inch long. Let's see. Let me give you an idea what that is. Like that. Just enough to be able to get our lighter in there. So do that for all those. And we're back in the vise for the melting. Take our lighter and just melt that down. And take something flat, press it against it. Looks good. So do that for every one of them. Okay, so we're back in the vise and we are going to measure our handle. And my top is right there. It didn't get consumed. We were 12.5. I took a pen and marked it right here. 12.5 for my whip. And what we're going to do, just to be on the safe side, so we don't miss that, because mine's black, I'm just going to tie a little bit of a thread, bonded nylon thread around it, so I can see that mark and I know where it's at. Alright, so this is going to be an optional thing if you guys have it. If you don't, it's okay. Lacing tape. I'm going to be using this, and we also are going to be using the artificial sinew. So we have our mark, and we're going to start about maybe 1.5 inches above it, and we'll start doing the crisscross pattern like always. Let's see if we can get it started. Something like that, and then we want to really crank down on these, because this is our last binding. You see how I'm doing that? Crisscross. Throw them up for training. You ever see that? Okay, no. Anyways, so we know that's the end of the handle right there, so we know to just keep it rock solid. We're gonna go for about 2 inches past that, past our past the end of our handle, and this is rock solid. We don't want this bending. And we could probably get rid of that right there. Let's trim that shit off. There we go. Just an easier way to mark your whip. So with, if you had a colored paracord for this belly, it would be easier to mark with a pen or a marker. So, but black is hard to see, and it looks like we're at about the 2-inch mark right now. So we're gonna go back up, go in between the 1/4 inch spacing, single. Might have to put that piece of rubber in this vise to hold this whip still. Anyway, we'll make it work, guys. Back up, go up about 1 inch, stop there. Then we go back down, single pass still. Splitting the last one, about a 1/4 inch spacing. Just keep going. Now we're going to go 5 inches past that. And once we get down here, then we can start crisscross again. Once it's the end of the 2-inch mark, and you just fall right back into the crisscrossing. I might not have to use that lacing tape, we'll see. And I think I'm out of frame. I'll fix that up for you guys. The dog's barking in the background. I'm on like, I don't know, 5 hours of sleep. And this is not as wrapped as tight. I forgot to do that once we got to past the 2-inch. It's tight, but it's not as tight as that first one. So let's see where we're at. 5 inches, yep. Okay, we go back up. Still not going as tight, just snug. Quick tug. And it looks like we get to that 2-inch mark. And once we're in it, now we can crank down again. Go back up to the top right here. Continue cranking really hard, then we're going to do a single pass all the way down to the 5-inch mark. I'll meet you there. Alright, we made it to the 5-inch mark, and now we're going to go nice and light. Do the crisscross still. And this time we're going to go for about 8 inches. Just barely snug, guys. It's a little pull. Probably 9-inch mark. Still do the crisscrossing. Let's see where we're at. Where that went. Our red mark. Almost there. Okay, we made it to that spot. And now we're going to go for about 2 inches with a single pass with basically just a wrap. It's barely any pressure on this. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to go back up. Remembering our tension along the way. Once I hit the 9-inch mark, then we have to turn it up a little bit. We hit our 5-inch mark. Now we turn it up a little more. And you know the routine on the 2-inch mark, so I'll meet you at the top. Back at the top, don't cut this off yet. We are going to set that off to the side. Since it's waxed, it should stay. I'm going to do the optional lacing tape. This is natural nylon, so it's like 3mm wide. You get the stuff on eBay. There is no wax involved in this one. It's kind of looks like the color of straw. So. And it really likes to hold its memory, so what I like to do is crisscross from the beginning right here, way at the top. And this stuff I'm going to crank really, really hard. These are not light pulls, guys. So we're going to go out to about the, here goes our artificial sinew. We can get that out of the way. Like that. There we go. What's going to end up happening, this stuff sinks in to the artificial sinew a little bit. Let me unravel that a little bit. There we go. That's better. Maybe. All right, there's the end of the handle. And we can start our 1/4 inch spacing. About 4 inches down with this stuff. Maybe 3. Depends how I feel. This is basically a reassurance that our transition will never break. Pulling tight. You can see it sinking in. Alright, that's about 3 inches down. It'll break in as the whip breaks in. It'll loosen up a little, but not much. If you want a stiff transition, this is the stuff to use. And then going back up, single pass. Meet you back at the top. Make sure this is all tight.
Guys, you need a short break. Go ahead and take one right now, okay? I'll buy you a drink, okay?
Okay, so we made it back to the top, as you can see. Now you gotta grab our artificial sinew. That's kind of tricky. I'm holding tension on that one at the same time. Take this artificial sinew, go over the top of what you just wrapped for about 1/2 inch. Now let's just secure it for a second. Now we can cut this free. We can find some scissors, maybe, or a knife, I don't care. Lacing tape. That should be good. Now we can take this. And wrap that underneath itself. There we go. Now go back through with your scissors and you can trim this up. I leave, especially on this one, just take that one that long and then we can trim this up. And bound and ready for a roll. That should be pretty good, guys. All right, grab your hockey tape and we're going to start doing a nice taper. And as we go, let's see here, depending on how far you want your I want a gradual taper all the way down the whip from the beginning. So you can see that's built up a little bit right there, but that should roll out. So we can continue to go to about, let's see, that should be good for that one. And right about there. So tape that off, and we're gonna go over the top of this again one more time. A little bit farther down. I'm gonna stop right there, right above where we ended the artificial sinew and that lacing tape. You can still see the end of the whip right there, which is good. So wrap that around. So we have one on this about 4 inches, and then this is almost the full length of the handle, probably about 11 or 10, right around there. So now we can go roll it out. All right, we're back out in the kitchen. Roll this bad boy out. It's hard right here. Looks good. As we work our way down the whip, you have to push this hard because it's a lot softer in those areas. It's starting to feel like a whip. Let's see here. That should be good. That's the vise for the overlay.